In the last 9 months, the Los Angeles Rams have brought in Matthew Stafford, Von Miller, and now Odell Beckham Jr. Odell had a very messy tenure in Cleveland, and it all blew up in the last 2 weeks, leading to his release and the decision to sign with Los Angeles, making a stacked team even better. The Rams were already a Super Bowl favorite, but adding Odell only makes them more exciting. But there is one gigantic question. Can he be the Odell of the past? At one point, Odell was one of the best wide receivers in the NFL, tearing up the league for the first 3 years of his career, but that hasn't been the case in over 5 years. Do you realize how long ago Odell was actually a top wideout in the league? Barack Obama was still the president,
and I'm proud to be an American.
Harambe died. Everybody's favorite game was Pokemon Go.
I play Pokemon.
Okay, all right, so that's where we'll draw the line.
And we looked like this. That's right, last time Odell Beckham Jr. was actually a top wide receiver in the NFL, we were cringy high school sophomores. Now, Odell did start off his career on a rampage, recording over 1,300 yards as a rookie, and of course, making a ridiculous grab with his right hand while he was diving backwards despite pass interference on the defender in a game against the Cowboys. He was already an emerging star, but from there on out, he was that guy. Kids started yelling Odell when they made catches. He was one of the biggest names in football and was backing it up, following up a stellar rookie season with 1,450 yards and then 1,300 yards the next season. He made the Pro Bowl all 3 years and was one of the biggest names in the league. But 2017 was the beginning of the end. Odell fractured his left ankle and had to undergo surgery. The next season he returned and played well, going for over 1,000 yards in only 12 games, but he missed the final 4 games due to a quad injury. Then the Giants decided enough was enough and moved on, shipping him off to the Browns. Odell managed to go for over 1,000 yards once again, despite battling a sports hernia, but once the season came to an end, he had to undergo core muscle surgery. Last season he returned before he tore his ACL in week 7. 3 surgeries in 4 years. Over the first 3 years of his career, Odell had 4,122 yards. In 3 years, in the 5 since, he has just 2,940. But if you want more videos like this, hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you never miss a daily upload. So what the hell went wrong? Odell's dad posted a video on Instagram of all the times that Baker Mayfield had him open and decided not to throw it. Even LeBron James tweeted out free OBJ. Now, the video did have some moments that Odell was wide open, but I do have a hard time believing that Baker wouldn't throw it to him if he knew he was wide open. To be fair, it was just a slowed down video of him either being open or Baker making a bad pass. Like, yeah, Baker makes bad passes. We know, we've seen it. At some point, there does need to be a conversation of where he stands as a quarterback in the league. Where does he even sit in the AFC? He isn't top 5. Lamar Jackson, Josh Allen, Justin Herbert, Patrick Mahomes, they're clearly the best of the best. Past that, I wouldn't say he's better than Ryan Tannehill or Derek Carr. So where does that actually leave him? 7th in the conference, maybe? He hasn't been that great, and he looked like shit against the Patriots this weekend. Maybe Odell was onto something, and he made sure it was no secret that he wanted out of Cleveland. He reportedly asked to get traded multiple times over the offseason, and then again after the Browns lost to the Steelers less than 2 weeks ago, where he had just 1 target. Cleveland only scored 10 points in the loss, and Odell was mainly used as a decoy or a blocker. It makes sense why that was really the final straw. It's been a frustrating year. He only caught 17 of 34 targets for the season for just 232 yards. The trade deadline came and went, and it's not a surprise that nobody took a shot on him. No idiot is gonna claim a guy who you have to pay over $8 million to for half a season, at least now that Bill O'Brien isn't in the league anymore. The only real way for Odell to get out of Cleveland was gonna be if they released him, and finally, he got his wish. He hit waivers, but again, you're not gonna wanna pay that much for a dude who hasn't been healthy in years and is over $8 million for just half a season. So all of a sudden he found himself as a free agent for the first time, and it apparently was a complete mess. listen to Taylor Swift while I record this. She's the reason for the teardrops on my guitar. Teams weren't told whether or not he was still considering them or not, and get this, he apparently told some of his former Browns teammates that he was signing with the Chiefs. There were a handful of teams he considered alongside the Rams and the Chiefs, or the Packers and the Patriots. Now, all of them did make sense, at least most of them did. The Patriots needed a number one guy, and he could have gotten a ton of targets, but are they necessarily a contender?
Yes.
The Packers need a number two behind Davante Adams, and it does help that Odell could have just been overlooked by defenses, and that's exactly what he's going to get in LA with Cooper Kupp. Finally, the Chiefs are just stacked, but their big problem is defense. That decision just wouldn't necessarily make a ton of sense, at least for Kansas City. The Rams overall are a good fit. Eli Manning was good, and Baker Mayfield is solid, but it is safe to say that Matthew Stafford is overall the more talented passer that Odell has been with. Sean McVay is a great coach, and he is going to find the best way to use Odell, even if that is as a decoy. Plus, for the first time, Odell isn't the top guy on the outside for a team. He was always the number one in New York, and Cleveland has really struggled to get another outside threat to play with him. Now, he gets to play across Cooper Kupp, a top guy in the league. Kupp is going to draw double teams and going to be one of opposing defense's big assignments in a game, giving Odell the chance to fly under the radar. But we all know that that's not why he decided to come to LA. He wants a ring. Now, Odell has always been a star on the field, and the cameras have always been around him, but he's never had playoff success. He's never been healthy for a playoff victory, but that could change with the Rams. He was supposed to make an already stacked Los Angeles team even better, but unfortunately, the Rams left the weekend worse after Robert Woods went down with a torn ACL. Huge for LA to be able to get a guy like Odell, who realistically could transform back into a star after a stud goes down like Woods for the year. Now, losing Woods is a huge loss, but the Rams are still absolutely a Super Bowl contender. This is a good football team, but going from Woods to Odell is undeniably a downgrade. I think there's a serious conversation to be had of how much that one catch changed his overall perspective. There's no way we talk about Odell the way we do now if he doesn't make that one catch. It was iconic. It's one of the greatest catches in league history. When me and Darren were kids, if you went up and grabbed the ball in like crazy fashion on somebody, you told them that you just moshed them. Today, kids yell Odell. He was a good player early in his career, but he is not the same guy, and he's benefited not just from one play, but being able to play in a top market like New York. Giants fans are crazy.
Live back at Coney Island with this dickhead. Who's the president? Byron. Who's the president? Byron.
Gotta give him props where it's due. It makes sense why he became a superstar so fast, but it is interesting how the media has shaped his career. Odell's been far from the best guy in his class. Mike Evans came in the league with Odell and went for over 1,000 yards as a rookie, catching passes from Josh McCown and Mike Glennon, and he's done it every single season since. Even 2 years ago, Odell was still seen as the better wideout, despite clearly not being better whether it be on the field or on the stat sheet. It took for Tom Brady to come to Tampa Bay for Evans to finally get the respect he deserved. Baker Mayfield definitely deserves some of the blame for Odell Beckham Jr. flaming out in Cleveland, but it runs deep. Odell hasn't been able to stay healthy for years, but is for whatever reason surprised that his production went down so much. The Rams are a good team that very well may be playing in February, but Odell is not going to be the reason why. Thanks for watching. Hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you never miss a daily upload. If you want more content, follow us on TikTok, Instagram, and Twitter. Wait, this is gonna get copyrighted. What am I thinking? Yeah, I got nothing.